Hello from the FinForum conference in Frisco, Texas. Joining us now is Ryan Bailey with Paradigm Global Investors. It's great to have you with us, Ryan.
Glad to be here.
So you just got off of a panel on asset allocation and due diligence. What were some of the key takeaways from that discussion?
I think what institutional investors are thinking about now was one of the key takeaways. So how much liquidity is now factoring into the equations? We've seen a decent amount of bigger institutions going to the secondary market, whether it's some of the universities and et cetera. So smaller groups are thinking, what do we do for liquidity in our portfolio? We've allocated to privates, but there's some hooks that have been thrown their way. Some of those hooks have been, hey, changes in government spending. What does that mean for the organizations that we support?
And how are you evaluating different people, their process, and what gives them an edge?
Sure. So whenever we're looking at a potential investment or a manager, we're looking at the people, the process, the performance, philosophy. What we mean by edge is informational advantage. So do they get better information or do they get the same information and can do more with it? Those are two of the essence of edge. But in terms of people, one of the key things that we look at, a lot of times, I always tell analysts when they're first starting in their career, they go, oh, the people are the same. I looked at this chart and I looked at this chart a year and there have been no changes. But in actuality, get behind those people. See if the person is just as hungry as they were on day one when they met or when they were earlier starting their firm. Those are things to look for in the people. The quality, what did they learn at the various places that they worked before? If we go into process, we look for what about their process is unique? How do they get some of the advantages and information in their process that can they process it more quickly? Do they get better information from what they do? And then lastly, performance. It's not just about, hey, it's this group to outperform their index. Does the performance actually translate to the environment they're in? So we spend a lot of time on that environment question. What environment do you do well in? What environment should we expect you to struggle?
And given the environment we're in right now, how is that impacting your decisions?
So we're looking at investors who can really benefit from quality. And what I mean by quality is, can they invest in companies or select things that can protect their margins? And those are almost sometimes you have certain monopolies or where the consumer has to walk up and go, here are my choices, or I have to have this, and they'll pay it. So can some of the tariffs that are being experienced, can that be passed on?
And I like what you said earlier about not only have the people changed, but has the person changed. I think that's a really good one that you don't hear every day. You could have joked on the stage that it was all the typical things you look for on the CFA curriculum. Have to say I know that all too well from personal experience. But what else are you looking for that others might not be thinking about, or it might not be in the CFA curriculum?
Sure. So other things that we're looking at is the opportunity set. Kind of that's the why now question, but it's really looking at, you told me you have an edge, an informational advantage. How does that translate to the opportunity set? And it's always this question of, is it the fisherman or the pond? Okay. And what we're looking for is when you have an outstanding fisherman and you have a pond that's ripe with the perfect fish that they can take advantage of. And then lastly, that I would say that's a differentiator is role in the portfolio. And this one is very important when you're first looking at a manager and understanding how should they be judged. And a lot of times people are like, oh, just judge them by a benchmark. Well, actually, I'm putting them into a portfolio to play a particular role on a team to generate that performance. So I need to get comfortable that they can play that role.
And looking back on your experiences in the industry, what have led to some of your best decisions, best choices?
Best choices have actually been when environments are happening where people are making uneconomic decisions, where it's like, I'm doing this because I have to, whether that's someone selling an asset because of regulatory reasons, or they can't invest in something, or the tide is pulling back, not because people want to, but something's going on in the environment. It's like, oh, we just can't do it. Those are often when our best decisions, and decisions where you're like, I've seen this before, and I can take that advantage that I had and use that knowledge to work for me when I'm seeing something come in front of me.
And finally, Ryan, how has the conference experience been for you so far, both up on stage and off the stage, walking around?
I think the conference experience has been great. So one of the key things that I like about it is that so it's a change in environment where you can do a lot from home, you can do a lot virtually. The opportunity to get together, exchange ideas, just to talk within a group and everybody sharing their views on what's going on really helps. Really helps to see, especially where the masses are.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being with us today. Great to have you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Of course, and appreciate everyone out there watching. Once again, that was Ryan Bailey with Paradigm Global Investors. And I'm your host, Jenna Dagenhart with Asset TV.